incredible. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper! Price go up. Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion!
You don't know the power. The math is incredible. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership. And what's it gonna do? Everybody excited?
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation!
Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the official EMP live stream. We go over everything in our entire EMP ecosystem, including Plazm, DEX bonds, DexFi, and HVM, all the good stuff. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA, how are you?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm good. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. And we've got a good one planned for you tonight.
Yeah, 100%. So the title's a bit of clickbait, but before we get into that, we'll address the elephant in the room. Is crypto cooked? Game over, right? No, not even close. But before we get into that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps get the word out, and especially in volatile times like this where interest in crypto is waning, it really helps to get the algorithm going in our favor. So shout out to all of you for being here. We've had record attendance, and all of you that keep showing up. You are the OGs. I mean, this is why we build protocols for people that follow the math and are, what I like to call smart money. And even with the crypto markets bleeding and fear in the streets, a lot of you know that this is the biggest and best time to capitalize. So right off the bat, is it over? My personal opinion, being in crypto now for 10 plus years, it's a resounding hell no. Again, I think we are seeing some capitulation, some maximum pain, fear beyond belief. But usually that means that we're getting closer to a bottom. Now, could we go even further? Absolutely. That's always a possibility. I said multiple AMAs ago, I really didn't think that we would see below 100K Bitcoin ever again or below 3K ETH ever again. And, I still I stick to that. I mean, I think right now it's just been pure manipulation and a lot of just people uncertain of overall macros that have now trickled into crypto. And we said it before, but this is almost the price that we pay when we say we want institutions involved. The downside is that we do get manipulation, But the upside is that as long as you have a long-term time horizon, everything should be fine. So overall, I'm still bullish. Again, I'm a perma bull, but I think that it is just some temporary pain that we have to go through. Um, and again, even if you are a believer of the 4-year cycles, which I think that we're beyond that now. But even if you were, a 30% correction is pretty standard, and followed by a new all-time high. So going into the end of the year, I think obviously with the holidays, things can be a little bit muted anyway. But early 2026, I think we're off to the races again. And fundamentally, the money that these big guys have is unfathomable. I mean, more than retail would ever have overall. So that being said, if you believe that there will be a supply squeeze for big institutions, nation states, you name it, then it just makes sense that we see Bitcoin and crypto overall going up from here. And then just the last point I wanted to make was Ethereum specifically. So again, even if you think Tom Lee is an idiot, or you don't see any treasury companies stepping in for ETH, what you can't argue with is the infrastructure that ETH has built. Meaning, when we do start seeing RWAs, real world assets, tokenized stocks, stable tokens, uh, bank bank transfers with stable tokens, all of that is going to be settled on Ethereum because it's been the most proven network. And again, distribution wise, that's what Wall Street will end up going to. And so that alone, I think, is a big catalyst for ETH in the long run. And DeFi is still in its infancy. I saw an amazing interview um, with the Chainlink, and they did a really great overview, which I'll try to find that video and post on our socials. But basically, it was giving me the next 5 to 10 years and what institutions look like getting involved, utilizing Chainlink to get involved in DeFi. So I think that is also a big catalyst for the future as well. So, all right, LA, I know you're still waiting on the real bull. Unfortunately, you haven't really seen this unicorn that
Yeah,
a bull market, right?
waiting for my first bull market for
Yeah.
sure. We're
What are your
going on almost
feelings?
4 years of waiting, but I'm a patient person, so I
Yeah.
see the vision in the horizon. So, it is what it is, however long it takes.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and again, I think all of you that are still around have that same sort of mindset. So, all right. Anything else in terms of the market, or any other kind of group therapy we can give before we jump in?
There's always opportunity if you have your mindset in the right place. Like, honestly, just the other day, I was literally, I think it was yesterday, I woke up and I had something on my mind that was like a specific opportunity that I desired and wanted to manifest. And I kid you not, like 2 hours later in my email was like an offer for that exact thing. So I really believe in manifestation. I know some of you are sick of me talking about mindset, but if you believe that something is going to happen or something is yours before it happens, it's going to come to you. So think about what you want in your life and think about how to tweak your mindset to get it.
Yeah, no doubt, LA again, and I think that's been one of the major things that have kept us building and been through 3 brutal bear markets now. Is that positive mindset, and we can get we can go down the rabbit hole, but whether it's financial freedom or just a better mindset and avoiding depression and negative energy, negative thoughts, all that boils down to the right kind of mindset. And so, yeah, the fortunate part is that a lot of our community shares that, and that will result in success, which is, again, basically a self-fulfilling prophecy. For the same reason, and it's funny enough, it goes both ways. A lot of the downturn right now, I think, is just this echo chamber of bears that say, the 4-year cycle, we topped in October, recession fears, global liquidity doesn't matter. When you start having those reoccurring themes and reoccurring thoughts, it does drive the price down, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just because, again, there's that cyclical, negativity. But once we do hit the floor, which I think we are close, again, I'm not going to be in full panic mode until we hit, the lows of the last all-time highs, which is what, about 60K on Bitcoin, and under 2100 ETH. That I think would be a major sign for concern. But as far as I can see, I think over the next few months, again, we should trend upwards from here. So, all right, let's jump in and give some updates on Fusion. We're getting really close. I don't want to give any dates, and obviously we will keep everybody up to date through our socials. But the migration is in process. A lot of you saw that we updated the main website that no longer allowed you to sacrifice. If you were hoping to sacrifice, obviously you're still getting credit in Fusion on base. But if you wanted to enter EMP Fusion, just start holding some of that dry powder to buy on the marketplace. So once Fusion goes live, not only will you have credit immediately, but the marketplace will also be available on day one. So that way you can buy or sell to either add to your position or exit and leave and move on. So nobody's held hostage, and this will be really powerful for the future. So Ella, you want to go over a few of the key points, and then I'll elaborate on Fusion as we go.
For sure.
Okay.
Oh, my dog is just jumping in front of my screen. Sorry. Yes. So as AJ just mentioned, we've put deposits into Fusion. They're closed now in prep for the upcoming migration. Although eShare can and should still be bridged over to Base. And so if you haven't done that, do it immediately. You can do it on DexFi, and the fees on DexFi for bridging your eShare over are so small that it's negligible, honestly. Like when I was doing it, I was like, oh, wow, literally like a 0.01 of an eShare it costs or something. All sacrifice points, liquid EMP marketplace listings, batteries purchased, M Energy, pending rewards, and power up NFTs will be carried over from your current position and added to EMP Fusion on Base. So I'm going to read that one more time just so you have the full list. All sacrifice points, liquid EMP marketplace listings, batteries purchased, M Energy, pending rewards, and power up NFTs will all be carried over and credited within the new Fusion on Base. Last week, we did a really comprehensive overview of the math and how everything will be credited. We also had a lot of questions about that we answered. So if you want to recap on the math, there's 2 ways to get it. Number 1 is to watch the replay from last week. There are timestamps on there. Shout out to Darusik, who does all of our timestamps. And there's also pinned announcements that break it down in written form on both Telegram and Discord. Going forwards, the only way to enter EMP Fusion will be by purchasing microgrids from other users in the marketplace. This ensures that there's no dilution, there's an ever-increasing ownership concentration through treasury buybacks, and it will also establish a true market value for microgrids and your overall positions within Fusion instead of relying on peg values. And so we're very excited about this new simplified version of EMP. And we really believe that it's going to be a lot more successful, a lot simpler, and just a lot easier for everyone to understand.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, LA, I was muted there. Yeah, I mean that again sums it up, I think, really well. Obviously, some people have maybe been frustrated with the migrations, or are not really totally dialed in and selling eShare rather than bridging it, and doing all sorts of decisions that make absolutely no sense in the short term. But long term, this is incredibly powerful. I mean, again, not only are we simplifying things to be incredibly easy to understand for both the OGs and new users. Again, the whole point of not to get too much in the weeds here, but one of the major decisions of moving to base was easy onboarding. I mean, we are now available. All of our tokens on base are now available in the Coinbase app. You can literally buy any of the tokens through that simple credit card or bank account linking. You're on chain and you're ready to roll, in a matter of minutes. Which again, even something as simple as bridging isn't so simple to people. And so, if you didn't have a Binance account, it would be really difficult to get to BSC, in the old format. Now we're providing liquidity on two different chains. There's just so many things that dilute the economic and mental energy that goes into running multiple protocols on multiple chains. And now with the success of Plazm, which we'll get into next, all the volume in DexFi and bonds being on base in terms of yield, it just made total sense to consolidate everything over. And now we can focus on what everybody wants, and that is increased ownership and yield through Fusion. So all that is really exciting, and we're almost there. So shout out to all of you that have really understood how bullish this move is, and are along for the ride as we continue to grow. So again, we'll do a bunch of explainers and updates as well. We'll update the white paper, but the beautiful part about EMP Fusion on base is that we really don't even need a white paper. So literally almost everything you need to know will be on the homepage of EMP Fusion. So that's another really powerful aspect of this, is that you don't need a finance degree to understand what's happening. So, and shout out to Millennial Money YouTube. CK updated another video today that is a brief overview of Fusion. So if you are new, or maybe you have been here but you still really didn't understand Fusion, then they can, you can see there to know, and we'll do a whole series on Fusion as well, for those that need kind of an educational series. And again, shout out to him. If you guys haven't seen it, they're not perfect. Again, there are some typos. A lot of it's AI generated, but overall, you should really, really get a better understanding of bonds and Plazm, and now Fusion. Literally every part of our ecosystem in a on a fifth grade reading level, with great analogies that explain what's happening under the hood. So please go show him some love. Even if you are an OG, I would encourage you to literally watch every single video on that page. It's really, really helpful with understanding what we're doing here. So, all right, awesome. I think that's the majority around Fusion and EMP. Was there anything else before we get into Plazm and some other things, LA?
I think that's it for now until the question period. We'll see if we have any.
All right, perfect. And as we get into Plazm too, shout out to Mufalada. I like to call him Mufasa as I'm a Disney fan, so every time I see that, I think of Mufasa. But I tried to get the video to play for our intro. We have a brand new intro video um about Plazm, so keep an eye out for that next week as our new intro. But Plazm has been absolutely killing it. And one of the really amazing things about Plazm is that it is specifically designed to perform well, if not even better, in a bear market. So as we've seen the price of eShare and Plazm go down over the last, you know, few days, the ROIs have still held up incredibly well, and that is all by design. So regardless of the real yield, which is really the game changer in all this, the real external yield for bonds, the original economics designed by cryptographics, again, shout out to Taurus and Unity, um, they were far superior to, Titan X or Hex or Wise or any of the original daily creation tokenomics. And so that is really the pillar of success anyway. And then when we put the real yield on top, that's when we truly see something, spectacular. So all of you that are in Plasm have seen how robust it's been, even with some pretty dramatic, pullbacks on the price. And that's okay. I mean, again, it's okay if people sell and leave because you can only sell once. The same reason we say this with EMP and Fusion, and when we were having to try to recover peg, all those things. Once somebody sells, that's it. And if you're actually earning Plasm through the protocol as designed, you're earning way, way more units or tokens than you would ever be able to buy on the market for the same price. So all those mechanisms, even when people do sell and leave, it's transferring value to those that stay. And that again is a really cool byproduct of the way the economics have been designed, even without the real yield on top. And now, with the real yield on top, it's an absolute monster. And we haven't even turned it on yet. I mean, there's about 40 grand ready to go, and increasing still for when we get to day 77. And we'll show that in a minute. But LA, if you don't mind, again, if you just go through some of the bullet points for Plasm,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll pull up the website. So.
Mm-hmm. I just want to clarify one thing before we kind of move on fully to Plasm, just based on Tom's comment here. So just to clarify, so there's no EMP token on Base because we're discontinuing the EMP token. And so when I was mentioning that batteries and marketplace positions and existing SAC points, liquid EMP, all of that will be credited over on Base. What I meant was within Fusion. And so we actually went over this really well last week, but we went over all the math for how it will determine how many NFTs you receive. So we're going to be moving to a system of Fusion NFTs now. And the amount of stuff you had between your power-ups, your marketplace, your M energy, your EMP, your SAC points, all that stuff will determine how many of those new Fusion NFTs you get on Base. So there's no contract address for EMP on Base because we're discontinuing the EMP token.
Perfect. Yep, 100%. And honestly, the way the math worked out, even with the sacrifice conversion, it's still less NFTs than there was total EMP. So that's another really cool way. And that wasn't, honestly, that wasn't even on purpose. That just happened. It happened to be that way when we finalized all the math. So I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised when they finally see, how much ownership they do have with their NFTs. So
Okay,
cool.
so Plasm bullet points. So AJ, this week you did some live streams and AMAs for Plasm, correct?
Yeah, no doubt. So the infamous when marketing is always on the top of our list. And yeah, we did some great AMAs. And we have some other AMAs scheduled um, with our friends at Quantum Economics. That's Matt Hatter. We're doing another one with him on Monday, this coming Monday. I did some AMAs and some private chats. We have a lot of great word spread from you, the community. And then again, it's not even, we don't have to shill at this point or convince people. All we have to do is show them how Plasm is built different. And once they understand this real external yield, then it's an easy way to get people on board and interested without even having to shill them or convince them. So that's been really powerful. And we have a whole nother month. So to the end of November of updates and 2 more AMAs with the Build on Base channel. So Elon, he has been a great supporter of many of our projects, and so that's another one that we have been really diving into, and it's been great because we've been able to make a lot of connections to people that are specifically building on Base, not just the overall crypto market. So yeah, absolutely, LA.
Awesome. Okay, so we have now over 110 ETH in the vault balance, earning for us every single day. So that's definitely something to celebrate. The amount in the buy and burn and buy and build keeps growing, leaving us with more and more to burn around day 77 or whenever we need to use it. And the real alpha in Plazm is accumulating shares rather than trying to time price drops or market fluctuations. The more shares of the release pool you have, the more supply you'll be able to accumulate much cheaper than if you were to buy on the market directly. People are only able to sell once, like AJ was mentioning earlier, meaning if they choose to leave early, even in profit, the transfers value to the rest of us staying because of the perpetual buy and burn. Mentally, all of you should prepare yourself and set expectations for day 77 plus. Don't be upset if you see the price drop, because ultimately that gets us to a much better position, that much quicker in terms of buy and burn becomes deflationary and sets a rising floor. Price does matter, but only when you go to sell. Selling 1 unit at $1 is far less money than selling 10,000 units at 10 cents. If you can train yourself to look at accumulating the supply rather than focusing on the price, especially in the early stages, you'll be literally miles ahead of everyone else. The real external yield is the game changer here. No other protocol has been able to successfully implement that, and it's a dramatic difference. And people are still really very much so underestimating this. Also, remember to invite your friends, as this is one of the best ways to learn about our ecosystem. Not only is there a referral reward if you use your link to refer your friends, but we've also been hitting record numbers in terms of viewership on our AMAs. So thank you to everyone that shows up. These are all recorded on our YouTube channel if you happen to miss a week, but our numbers have been going up every week, and that's great.
Amazing. Yeah, 100% LA. So that was this week alone in Plasm. I mean, I can't believe it feels like it's been years already. We're only on day 53. So we're still so early. We had incredible momentum and honestly, lightning speed in terms of additions and development as well. So shout out to BTT Build the Tech. Again, we obviously we have our own devs, but they were the original developers behind Source and Unity, and we thought it would just be easier and more simple to get them involved. And fun fact, they are the same devs of the original Fusion. So we love working with dev teams that are skilled and are familiar with what we're building. So they've been killing it. And the biggest thing is easy mode. So easy mode was a real game changer in all this. So obviously we've been showing you how to create and stake. Creating is essentially using the ETH that you have to create more Plasm, um, and doing it at a bonus rate that you actually earn more Plasm than you would if you were to just go and buy off the market. Very similar to essentially mining, but rather than spending money on a mining rig and spending electricity, that capital is all you have to put in. So that's how you can create. And then on staking, you essentially buy Plasm off the market, or use the Plasm that you've earned through creating to stake. And so that again pulls from the same pool of new Plasm coming out and rewards you for doing so. Now, again, even though that's pretty straightforward, it can be really complicated to know what's better and to swap and to know how to what the right routes are and all that. So this is why easy mode was created, and it's been killing it. So right now, all you do is select ETH, USDC, eShare, or Plasm. You select the amount that you have and the length that you want to do, and it will automatically calculate what is the most profitable move. And again, the way Plasm is designed is whatever is most beneficial for the platform is also the most beneficial for you in terms of yield. So right now, with the price going down and the Plasm to eShare ratio going down, it's more profitable to stake. And why that is so important is because now any of the new economic energy, obviously a portion goes into bonds regardless, but the majority of the energy is used to buy off the market, which in turn pushes the price of Plasm up again and gets more to that equilibrium. So the system is designed incredibly powerfully. Again, what I was saying earlier, that even when the price is going down, it automatically rewards users to do what helps the protocol the most, and therefore makes you earn the most as well. So, and then the other thing to look at here, again, easy mode, it says automatically selected stake, and then you literally just hit down here, enter easy mode, and you can create or stake right here. So it'll show you. There is a slightly higher fee, 0.5% fee as a convenience fee, but again, it doesn't go to us. It doesn't go to other users. It goes into bonds. So you're essentially helping pay yourself in the future because we get more TVL in bonds, which then increases the buy and burn. And then one last thing while I'm on this page was Plasm shares. So not to be confused with eShare, but shares in the actual ecosystem are really, that is the alpha. So those that watch these AMAs and pay attention and listen and interact in socials, you probably already know this, but um, what you want to do is be able to accumulate the most shares that you can, and the best way to do that is with more money or a longer time frame. So those 77 days, the maximum lockup, will give you the biggest multiplier on shares. And so shares are really cool because that determines what you get from all the plasm that's being released into the market. So again, that is kind of the secret sauce, is to get your shares as high as you can to earn the most in the long term as well. So and then I just want to highlight a few more things. So obviously the burn hasn't even been turned on really yet. The eShare buy and burn and buy and build has, that's roughly $2 every 10 minutes for buy and burn. And let me go back over here. Yeah, another, $1.50 in buy and build. So obviously that's been, still doing a little bit, but the distribution or the allocation is only 1%. When we get closer to the day 77 or slightly after, we can ramp that up higher. And then what really matters is the USDC buy and build again, and buy and burn. We're looking at $1, $2 between both of those every 10 minutes, and that is perpetual, meaning once this kicks in, we can essentially we could, if we wanted to, we could turn this to 100% and spend every dollar in the USDC pool every day, because bonds would refill that pool or that allocation within 24 hours. So right now, with the market being down and yield being down, we're at about 700 a day, a little more, maybe 800 a day. It was about 1,000 a day, and we have every intention of that going higher and higher as we get more TVL and bonds and as the market recovers. So, and that's another great segue into this page. All right, so if you go down here, we have Fusion Watch, obviously. That will also be updated when we do EMP Fusion, but we have a whole section for Plazm, so that's really great. If those of you want to see when the creations and unlocks are coming out, we're still getting great volume every day. People are still going into the system, and we can see, we're getting closer and closer to the big supply unlock. But as new people come in, it also lowers the amount of supply coming. That's why those shares I talked about earlier, that's why it matters, because as new people get into the ecosystem, it will spread out the supply release over the subsequent cycles. So twofold. Number one, it makes it so where the people in the very beginning are not the only people to profit. A lot of these protocols, if you're not in day one, you're the only people making money are the people in the first week. That isn't the case here. And number two, um, again, it spreads out the supply coming out, so you don't get a massive dump all at once. Now, again, we still see a lot of the supply coming out on day 76 to day 80 in there. But again, a lot of people will be going back in. Some of those are known whales that want to support the protocol allegedly. And so again, I think as long as you have a multiple cycle mindset, the buy and burn will really kick in and push people into profit, even if they may not be at profit on day 77. So that's why I said price matters, but only when you go to sell. So as long as you're willing to hang in there and go back into the system to earn more Plasm, then you have a much better chance of being in profit over the long run. So all right, and then one more thing before we go back here. All right, so we did add a few more statistics. Oh, hang on one sec. All right, so we're just under 110 ETH again. Again, this number matters because when the market goes down, we have exposure to all the underlying assets. So if ETH goes down and the assets we have exposure to goes down, this number will go down as well. However, it goes the other way too. So when we finally recover, we should be at 120, 130 ETH value in no time, because we've been DCAing and acquiring more and more bonds every day as the market goes down. And what we added was the bond amount. So as you can see, we almost have 4,000 bonds now, and that accounts for roughly 18% of the overall fund. And why that matters is if you go down here and hit DBank, all of this is fully transparent. So we are doing concentrated liquidity providing, but you can literally see every single asset that we have exposure to. So knowing that we have, about 18% of the overall fund ownership, we in turn own 18% of every one of these LPs that we see. So, USDC Limitless, Avant, Zora, all the big to medium cap alts. And the reason that we provide LP on some of these alts is that that's where the volume and the fees are generated. So, obviously, people say, well, why don't we just do stable tokens or, Bitcoin, Ethereum, like blue chips? And we have a mix of those. Again, this one you can see, um, BTC, Coinbase backed BTC. So there is definitely some, USDC here too. Definitely some, blue chips. But when you go full allocation into those, even with counter trade liquidity providing, you're never going to get the APR, more than 5 or 10%. And we're doing upwards of 70. So again, it is a balance of, what assets we have allocation to and what they're doing in the market. Now, the other cool thing though is even if we get some resemblance of an alt season, again, we're not even talking new all-time highs on alts. We're talking 10-20% on alts because we've been DCAing and a lot of the fund compounds automatically anyway, and that's not taken out of the APR. We're going to be in an amazing position because now we're way outperforming ETH, and the bond value is up in both ETH ratio and dollar value. So, and if you want to go into bonds on your own, you can always come here to Treasury bonds and buy as well. We're almost at between our white labels. We'll do a special post on this, but we paid out literally almost $1 million in rewards in the last 5 or 6 months. So pretty spectacular, huh, LA? When you think about it like that.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. So all right. I think that was all I wanted to cover with bonds and Plazm. Is there anything else that you wanted me to go over, LA, or that we're seeing and that we need to?
There was one more thing. Or do you mean with Plazm specifically?
Yeah. Or yeah.
Oh, there was one more thing that I wanted you to go over. You went over it last week, but I noticed some questions coming up on this throughout the week. And I think that it would be really good for you to go over it again while you have it up there.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
it up there again. But do you remember how last week you described how there's like this big fear around day 77 that there'll be like this giant number of people exiting, but every single week more and more people have been creating new stakes, and the amount that will actually come due on the 77th day will actually be less and less and less as we get closer. Can you go over that
For
again?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. So let me go down here. And again, I'm sure Grover can also explain this in the comments and in our socials. But yeah, what happens is so right here is the biggest candle for the amount of supply coming out. And if we look, it's on basically day 79. So we say day 77, but a lot of people got in between day 76 and day 81. So if you come down here, you can actually see this daily released graph, and this is what you want to look at. So right here, if you look on day 78, Plazm, it says hang on, 2,307,000. That number when we started was 4.5 million. So we've gone down, by more than half, or right around half, within the first 51 days. And over the next 20 days, that might even go lower. So we may even see Plasm at 2 million or 1.5 million by the time it happens. And why that matters is because now, rather than all that being released on day 78, all the new creations, happening out to, day 21 or 121, day 128, all the way out here, this supply is coming from the same pool. So every day, another 100K Plasm being pushed out. Obviously, every day there is a set number of Plasm released. That also goes down by 0.08% every day, which is cool because 2-3 years from now, we'll be lucky if there's 100,000 Plasm released in an entire cycle, which is bullish. But the point is that you are essentially diluting the quote unquote sellers or supply from earlier stakes by continuing to participate in the system. So it's really cool. Again, people that want to sell leave may call that dilution, but it's a way of the system to protect itself and again reward those that are here for multiple cycles and continue to go back in. So does that help, LA? Was that what you were wanting me to show?
Yes. And there's a question coming up in the AMA questions at the end that kind of deals with this. So I just kind of wanted you to warm us up for that.
All right, amazing. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, cool. Was that it for Plasm?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. What is up next?
I believe you were going to give us a little heads up about Astral Wars.
Yes, absolutely. So we did do a quick post. Let me see if I can just bring it up real quick. On our socials. Oh, one sec. Shoot, let me find it. Sorry about this.
I'll send it to you.
All right, yeah, if you DM me, thanks, LA. Bear with us here. So yeah,
I'll put it in the
almost.
private chat here.
All right, thanks, LA. All right. All right, so yeah, I was gonna show.
It didn't
Yeah,
well.
let me yeah, I was gonna show that the image. Hang on, sorry guys, let me get there it is. All right. All right, so here you go. Here's the image. Astral Wars. So this is just a really cool, again, update I wanted to make. As we've said many times, we as a treasury have made some strategic investments over the last 2 years into many different protocols in hopes that we are able to generate yield from those, just like any angel investment would happen. And one of those was Astral Wars. So this is a community over on the Hive blockchain. They actually did an EMP robot character. If you remember, we've had, this isn't the first that we've heard about this team. And the cool part is that they are taking the same approach as HVM. Not only are they a trading card game, which is a very similar game model as Universe Madness, but they're really going to do Web 2 first. There's a Web 2 marketing approach, which is really cool. They've already been approved on the Google Play Store. And so that was the whole point of announcing this, is that we're hoping that all of you can go and download the game, give it a good review, and that will help push the organic referrals on the new game. So it's a great team. Again, they've been building a Web 2, and we are supporting them. They have a big community over on Hive blockchain, and eventually you will be able to mint your NFTs just like you will with Universe Madness on chain through Hive. So a lot of similarities, a lot of crossover, and ultimately it'll be a marketing play for us as well with HVM, marketing to their audience. So, and so, yeah, when this is doing well and all the microtransactions are going through, this will be another revenue stream for Fusion. So it makes sense to support this as a community because that will eventually come back to all of us. So yeah, a great little update for Astral Wars. So all right, awesome.
Amazing. And then the final announcement before we move on to questions is that in America next week is Thanksgiving. So we are going to be taking 1 week off of AMAs next week so that we can be with family, friends, etc., and do all the Thanksgiving things. So I know if you're outside of the US, this doesn't really affect you. But for those in the US, celebrating happy Thanksgiving. And for everyone, we will see you back on December 4th on the Thursday.
Perfect. Yep. And again, if we are able to go live with Fusion before then, we'll just keep an eye out on socials. We'll do some posts, and yeah, the following week we can do a live overview on Fusion. But yeah, we both LA and I will be out for the next AMA. So all right, awesome. So yeah, I think that covered a lot of it. LA again, another great viewership today. So shout out to all of you that are here, and then we have some questions, right? You want to end with some that?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right,
start with Discord because there's not too many over there. And then I saw a bunch on YouTube.
perfect.
So we'll start with the question I was referring to. I'm going to try to condense it because it's quite long. But AJ said on the AMA for Plazm that you're getting more than you will get, that you're getting more than you'll get by buying the dip after release. How is that possible when, if we look at day 80, if we have 40,000 in buyback, that would make each token worth 1 cent or 0.011 cents. And if even half of that just restakes, they would be worth 0.022. And at that level, that would be 3,636 Plazm for $80. But I know it would go up as we buy it, so it wouldn't be right. I need help understanding the potential math. I'm going off what I added day one. I only put in a bit over $50 to give it a try. Says that I've earned 421. Does that number go up towards the end of the 77 days? If not, I bought around $0.022. That is almost a 6x.
Yeah, so a lot going on in that
It was
question.
long, but
Yeah, totally. So again, I'm not gonna be able to just do the math on the fly on the AMA, but I can talk in generalities. Number one, I would say I would just really do a deep dive into how the ecosystem works and how those pool shares are calculated, because I think that would give you a much better understanding of why you're able to earn more than just buying outright. Now, that being said, what I mean by buying outright, you are still gonna have to participate. So, like again, if you're waiting for the dip on day 77, there is definitely an argument for buying low and then staking that Plazm. What I was referring to is you're never going to be able to just buy the dip and flip Plazm for more profit than if you were to actually go into the system as it's designed. So that's what I mean by accumulating more of the supply than you would ever be able to, buying it off the market. And again, it's designed that way. Now, some of the other things that you said, I don't know how you're getting to the numbers, but I'm assuming that you are assuming that all the plasma coming out will be dumped on the market and sold. I don't think that is going to be the case. Now, could it? Absolutely. And then, yeah, we could see, 10 to 1 cent plasma, but I think that's highly, highly unlikely. And again, because of the way the system works, um, that would mean that everybody would leave, and then those that did stay, if that happened, would just be an incredible profit because um, all the sellers are now gone, and the buy and burn can do its work. And one of the other really cool things is, even if in a worst case scenario we get to, ridiculously low Plasm, that means the buy and burn has that much more power. So again, 40 grand of buying and burning and buying and building when Plasm is 10 cents. If Plasm was 1 cent, then it would have 10 times the power buying and burning. So, again, it's a correlation with the lower the price goes, the bigger impact the buy and burn has. So that again is a way the system protects itself, where the price can only go so low because the buy and burn, again, not assuming anybody enters uh, and buys the dip, that the buy and burn would literally, push the price up. And again, Grover has done some really in-depth math on this. So I don't know. I know that you were on Discord, but I would highly encourage you to join on Telegram, because we have some pretty, powerful discussions over there about this exact scenario. So again, I'm not good at doing math on the fly, but he'll tell you. I mean, it's exponential, the potential floor price, and when we do get to those lows, that means that we can set a floor price on Plasm. And once we have a true floor price with the majority of the supply being out, and being able to absorb all that supply in the future, then we really can do some even better math, because now we know the supply coming out, all the dumping has been done, and that buy and burn can really start to kick in. Even at today's levels, if the market stays down and nobody else comes in, that's literally almost thousands a day buying and burning. And so, you wait 10 days, and now the price could double or triple, within those 2 or 3 days, or 10 days, or whatever. If you wait a month, it could be even higher. So that is really what you need to focus on. And why we were saying, price matters, but only when you go to sell. So.
Awesome. Okay, next question is, why was Plasm not built using an up token contract?
Yeah, so again, funny enough, we've said this many times, up EMP and some up tokens. I do like the fundamentals, but when you start adding taxes to tokens, it can be, a bit of a touchy subject. Number one, the economics of Plasma are already pretty advanced, and so adding, another tax on that, with the up mechanisms can be even more so. However, again, shout out to Grover. We are talking about some really cool add-ons to both eShare and Plasm. We literally just had a meeting today before the AMA where we could potentially integrate. Again, I don't want to give it all away. So it's not an up token, but it's some similar mechanisms built on top of Plasm and eShare. So I think that is a much better route for those that want to play in that particular playground, so to speak. But we're not actually building it into the core tokenomics of the protocol. So again, up tokens are cool, and I think there's definitely a use case for them, and we are looking into that. But it won't be part of the core economics. And honestly, the buy and burn, really solves a lot of that anyway. Usually with the up mechanics, you're relying on that a little too heavily to mitigate, people selling, or at least when people do sell, those that hold are rewarded. But that same sort of mechanism is still at play because of the buy and burn. So.
Okay, awesome. Jumping over to YouTube here from Otter Oasis. Can we buy eShare via Coinbase and send it to Base Network?
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Auto Oasis, again, a long-term community member, and building out a cool real-world product themselves. So shout out to them. If you're fans of otters, check out that page. But and who isn't, right? Otters are one of my favorite animals. But that being said, again, I know that wasn't even the reason to ask. I just want to give a shout out where a shout out is due. Yeah. So yes, 100%. You can literally Coinbase has now integrated all the dexes into their Coinbase app. So you can find eShare and Plazm either by typing eShare or Plazm or even putting the contract address, and it will let you buy those individual tokens directly in the Coinbase app, and then you can send them to your self-custody wallet, so Rabby or MetaMask or whatever it might be, or you can just buy ETH or USDC. I think again, Coinbase is partners with Circle, the issuer of USDC. So I don't even think there's a fee if you buy USDC on Coinbase and send it to your wallet. You're going to need to have a little bit of ETH, but if you're looking to reload or do a big purchase, it's zero fees on USDC transfers. So that's another really cool uh, onboarding method as well, both on and off ramp in USDC, and all through Coinbase. So yeah, again, one of the many reasons that we moved to Base. It just makes it so much easier.
Awesome. Okay. Shout out to Torben Nielsen, who's finally able to attend a live AMA from Auckland, New Zealand.
Nice. Another Kiwi in the house. So there you go.
When do you expect Fusion Watch to be updated and show the easy mode on Plazm?
Yes, so that's a really good question. Again, I don't know if Grover can give an update in the comments, but Fusion Watch is a community project. Again, shout out to John and Grover. They are the two that have really spearheaded Fusion Watch. And so, yeah, once all the contracts are finalized, again, we had to basically rebuild Fusion all over again on Base, just because we're simplifying things. So as soon as we get them, the contracts, which again, I cannot confirm nor deny if that isn't within hours. So again, we're not giving a date on when Fusion will launch, but over the weekend, I'm hoping that we can do some more testing, update Fusion Watch, and then again, in the near future, have all of it ready to go, both having Fusion live and having all the updated info on Fusion Watch as well.
Amazing. Okay. How much of the compromised funds from March this year has already been returned to the affected people?
Yeah, that's another good question, and we've been trying to put together an actual tally of all this, but overall, it's over 10% now. So I think if you calculate the what was in the yield consortium, which is essentially what bonds are now, and all the escrow USDX that's paid to those that were in the vaults on their own, we're somewhere around 10 or 15% already, which again doesn't sound like a lot, but doing that without any capital, essentially just from fees, has been spectacular. And we've already paid out. Again, I don't have exact numbers, but we paid out at least 10 or 12 people, I would say, that had lower amounts. And so what happens is there is a snowball effect. Is once people are paid out and made whole on the lower end, those that were in for the higher amounts get paid that much quicker. So again, we're making great headway, and hopefully with an actual bull run and TVL increasing in bonds. Again, we've said this many times. If we can get $10 million in TVL, in bonds of both Bernard or Treasury or any of the white labels, we can have everybody paid out within a month or two. So it really is about that momentum on the vaults themselves. So
Yeah, I would say based on my own personal page here that it's about 15 to 16% so far.
amazing. So yeah, and again, it will start a lot slower. But for that amount, almost even at 15% in literally 5 months, without having a large chunk of capital because it all went away, is spectacular. I mean, I won't name names, but there's other protocols that have millions that haven't paid anybody in months. So yeah, all the fees, all the yield. I mean, we're not even making anything as a team right now, other than covering development costs. All of that is going into the recovery efforts. So
Yeah, and then Maurice also had a follow-up question of if he's brand new to the protocol, if we could explain where the funds that we're using to pay everyone back are coming from.
yeah, absolutely. So we do a split, Maurice. So it's a 70-30 split on all bond payouts. Again, and this is all in our documents and white paper as well. So every week, whatever we're able to yield, 70 is paid to bond owners, and 30% eventually will go to the real yield of Fusion and GDEX payouts. But for right now, we're using that to pay those that were affected. So the short answer is 30% of the yield generated. And obviously, we're also using the built-in fees from all the vaults in DexFi that our other users are going into as well. Typically those go to GDEX, but for right now, they're going to the recovery efforts. So yeah, it's a combination of all of the above. And yeah, once everybody's made whole, again, that is a major revenue stream for Fusion and GDEX.
Hell yeah, it is.
Totally, and people are sleeping on that, for sure. So, we get everybody paid out in the next year. At the worst case scenario, even if everything stays where it is, and then all that can be used to boost APR on GDEX and Fusion, and then again, that's just one revenue stream out of many revenue streams that will feed the ecosystem.
Amazing. Grover put something up here that's quite interesting. He said that within Plazm, we were talking about the amount of shares that get
Yes,
released.
yes.
So he said the day 77 has dropped from 4.5 million to 2.3 million and pushed that release into the future. So that's huge.
Awesome. Yeah, there you go. So again, those are the real numbers behind it. And yeah, we that will continue to happen over the next 20 days or so. So that is bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if we're under 2 million, by day 77. So
Okay, so Otter Oasis is asking, are we keeping the batteries live on base? If not, what happens?
yep, great question. So literally everything that about Fusion is being merged. So all the other marketplace energy batteries having different payout options, all that is now going away and is being simplified. So but you're not losing credit. So we again you have to go and look at our most recent post, but we did list all the math behind how they're being credited, but you are going to get some additional microgrids for batteries that you had purchased, any outstanding rewards, any any marketplace energy that you had. I know a lot of people went heavy into marketplace energy. They're getting credit. So the short answer is everything is consolidated. You get full credit based on those ratios. And moving forward, literally all you have to do is stake your microgrids. Again, rather than having one microgrid that has many sacrifice points, you'll just have many microgrids. And the total amount of microgrids is going to be less than 40 million probably. So that's even less than how much EMP there is or was. So all that being said, it's very much more similar to bonds. So you literally just stake your microgrids, and you earn eShare as the reward. And that eShare, again, because eShare is a fixed supply now, we have to go on the market and buy eShare before we distribute it to as rewards. And so this is amazing because number one, it puts all the economic energy back into eShare. And even if every single person sold their rewards, it would still be a net positive for the price of eShare, because of the fees that are associated and the volume, of the LPs. So all that's really cool, and over time should make it much easier to understand, increase yield, and ultimately make things more simple.
Awesome. I believe that takes us to the end of our questions.
Awesome. Nice. Another great episode. We've been trying to keep it around an hour and a half lately. We've actually been running late, but we got all that in almost an hour. So that must mean more people are getting it. LA,
Mhm.
we're finally being able to explain things over and over. And again, this is why we do the AMAs. We this is really the best platform for us to explain, give a laid out answer, not spend, 2 hours writing, things down. So please, if you do have questions, there's never a bad question. We really encourage all of you to join the AMAs and ask, so that you do understand the protocol. And that's really what we want. I mean, again, this is real DeFi, real yield, no hype. I mean, we're not pushing a meme token. We want educated participants, and so I would much rather have you not even put one penny into our ecosystem without understanding what our ecosystem is and why it's different. So that is fundamentally what makes us different, and that will allow us to succeed in the long run. Again, the days of memes and pure hype, I think, are over. That's another reason why I think the markets are in such bad shape right now is people were wanting to get rich overnight. And unfortunately, that isn't really a thing in crypto anymore. But you can get rich over a long time. So, and again, long is relative. I mean, we're talking, years, not decades. So that is really powerful for what we're building and what is the future. So, LA, any final words of wisdom or anything else you want me to go over?
Yeah, to everyone celebrating a very happy Thanksgiving next week. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who asked questions tonight or made comments. It's fantastic seeing all the excellent questions. Big shout out to Stinky Beans, who has been such a huge help. Literally, I think he's a robot. I don't think he's a real human. He's just that good. But thank you to everyone who's been helping out in the ecosystem. We literally could not do it without you. So we appreciate all you guys. We truly have the best community in crypto. And we look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks on Thursday, December 4th.
Absolutely, LA. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Again, our community and our mods are one of a kind. And yeah, a lot of you have been really stepping up, getting excited again, even with the market being in a bit of turmoil. a lot of you have been really excited for the Fusion migration and the way Plasm has been performing. So shout out to all of you for the positive energy, for helping, bring on new people, for helping, educate and engage. That's what made EMP what it is the way that we treat our community. And so please carry that through to every protocol under the umbrella, and continue to put in the effort. We definitely see it. I know we may not say it all the time, and I'm so glad that LA reminds me to give credit where credit is due, but we always see those that are putting in the effort. So much love to all of you that are doing it. So, all right, remember to like, comment, and subscribe before we head out. Remember also that we come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We will be skipping next week, as LA said, but we will be back the following week. And keep an eye out on socials for the release of Fusion if it happens before the next AMA. So, all right, good night, good day. Much love to all of you. Oh, and make sure you join our next AMA in a few minutes over on Honorverse Madness YouTube as well. So, all right, cheers, everyone. Bye bye.